So welcome to our next session. This one's called the Hot Applications in BAS Today. So we've been talking quite a bit about technology. We've been talking about IP connected everything. Little did we know sensor companies have clouds. Did you know that? That's interesting, right? Like we've really been diving into that stuff. So now we're gonna take another step in a different direction. And the product companies we work with, they are always focused on improving their products. And a lot of it is based on technology, but a lot of it's based on applications and frankly, better ways of doing things within the space we serve. As we know, technology does push these new innovations, but it's truly, these applications are really what drives our business at the end of the day. And here I have some product experts that are here to share some of these hot applications in BAS Today. So let's get started. We'll have each one of them are going to have a minute to come up and, is my clicker working? Clicker not working. You want to run it? And one more. And there we go. Okay, so our first speaker today is Matt Krieger from Schneider Electric. Matt, would you like to come up here?
Sure.
Come on up.
Thanks, Scott.
I don't know if the clicker's working. You might have to ask him to click for you.
Okay, I'll ask him to click. Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Krieger. I work for Schneider Electric, and I've been in the BAS industry for about, 20 years at this point, 25 years. Worked with Johnson for a while and then with Schneider. So appreciate you guys taking the time out to attend our session. I know we've been talking a lot, and I don't want to regurgitate everything that people have mentioned to this point, but it seems like more has to get done with less people. You have to make things easier. The working places that we're maintaining and controlling have to be cleaner, brighter, better for the occupants that are working in the space, so that they have a more enjoyable work experience. And so one of the things we're doing at Schneider, and you can click the slide ahead. Oh, back one right there. One of the things we're doing at Schneider is we've never really had a line of controllers that is like a BAS type system that we brought to distribution. And this is going to be one of our first attempts. It's kind of leaning on our VT SE 8000 series room controllers. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with those, but those are configurable type devices that control packaged equipment, rooftops, heat pumps, VAV boxes, fan coils, right? And what we're doing here is we're offering a product we're calling the Space Logic Ready Server. And what you can do with that one is you can connect up to 30 of these VT 8000, SE 8000 devices into a pre-canned format. So you can do scheduling, trending, alarming, and have access to it either on-premise or remotely through a web server to be able to monitor those devices, be able to change set points, be able to be alerted of alarms, and be able to trend data, right? And so that's basically, the product right there is basically the JACE of the Schneider world that's been tailored specifically to work with the 8000 series controllers. So you can hit the next slide. Here's what some of the architecture looks like. So basically we have our sensors, right, our various line of sensors going up to the 8000 series controller. That's the white box in the middle. And that white box, again, is a configurable type device for rooftops, heat pumps, fan coils, and VAV boxes. It has a Zigbee wireless network on there that you can connect up to 20 wireless sensors to. And then those would go to the Ready server. And then you have your pre-canned dashboard, so you can do trending, scheduling, alarming, and configuring of the devices all from that one interface. So it's a nice way to do something simple, to be able to be in control of your environment, to maybe have a less skilled technician be able to put it in. You don't need a programmer to do any of those devices and be able to configure them or set it up. So it's an easy process if that's what the building kind of suits itself to. Next slide. Second thing I want to show here is our partnership with Indices. And this is a gateway product so that you can take, up to, depending upon the model, 4, 8, 12, 32 different BACnet devices, either IP or MSTP, go through the gateway cloud, and you have a cloud view of everything. And it's 10 years of cloud service, no cost at all. And it's, again, a very, very simple thing. What we're doing in this case is we're making templates or databases that fit 8000 series controllers or whatever BACnet device you might have. So thinking of smaller buildings, right, so that you can take and have a view of this. And again, programming is not required. High-level technicians are not required. It's made for that mid-market, smaller type opportunities. The same thing. Next slide. So here's the kind of architecture again this way. So you got a BACnet device or even a Modbus device going to the ST cloud, and then it's a simple view of graphics, right? So you can change set points, you can monitor for alarms, you can schedule. The one thing it doesn't do, it doesn't trend, right? But at least at Display, you can have a simple installation where you can look at something remotely, have control of it, and it doesn't cost big dollars. The cloud, the gateway cloud, or the Ready server are both really low-cost type items to be able to have connection to those spaces without the use of heavy engineering or programming or technicians. Done.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That was an abrupt ending.
Well,
I was surprised.
yeah, I just want to, it seems like we're on a time frame here, so.
You're fine, you're fine. Matt, tell us just briefly, your cloud, what does it do?
What does it do?
Yeah.
For the Indices cloud?
Yeah.
So basically, it's a way for you to be able to take a look at your controllers, be able to change set points,
Okay.
be able to schedule, be able to be alert of alarms for things out of range, right? And so it's just a website interface to it.
Yeah,
right?
gotcha. So it's an off-prem website.
Off-prem website, exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And so,
and then how big can you make this system?
So you can have as many of those gateways as possible.
Okay.
Right? To be able to do that, the goal for that one eventually is to get MQTT to it too, so that you can take it and then bring it to whatever you want to bring it to,
Sure.
to a JACE or something like that.
Sure.
That's not available right now, but that's in the plans for the future.
Okay,
right?
cool.
So again, in the box there, that comes in a 4, 8, 12, 30 device type of structure, right? So if I got 4 rooftop units that I want to monitor remotely, you can connect it up to that. If you have 8, you can get the 8 model.
If you're already on-prem with like Niagara or something, you can just hook those controllers right up to Niagara, right?
Correct.
You would not need that module.
No.
No, that's just if you want to hook it up to the cloud.
That is correct. Yeah.
So another company has a cloud. How many is that? How many, anybody keep a count here? Like, I don't know, keep coming in, but no, thank you, Matt.
Yeah,
very good.
You're welcome.
Very well done. All right, next up is Maya. Come on up, Maya. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. And thank you for the opportunity to speak to everybody for a few minutes today. I appreciate being asked. I'm Maya Holzmer. I am a national sales engineer for ACI, or Automation Components. I've been there going on about 13 years now. I've been in this industry selling controls for my entire professional career. It's been about 27 years at this point.
Didn't you do it before you were a professional too?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
I started out at my dad's company, Autotran, when I was in high school, filing and answering the phones and just helping out over the summer. And became a true professional when I graduated from college and moved into an official sales and marketing role. A lot of familiar faces here. It's really fun to see people that I've worked with for a long time. ACI, for those of you who aren't already familiar with us, or Automation Components, is a sensor and transmitter manufacturer. We're based out of Middleton, Wisconsin, which is essentially the Madison area. And we started business in 1991, making sensors and transmitters primarily for the commercial, HVAC, and building automation industries. We service a lot of marketplaces, but that is the bulk of our business. We've been in business over 33 years now, and our solutions include lines for temperature, relative humidity, pressure, current, power metering, gas detection, which includes not only CO2 and other IAQ sensors, but also we offer a full line of toxic and combustible gas leak detection and refrigerant leak detection. We build a line of signal conditioning boards, and we have a variety of accessories like smoke detectors, freeze stats, power supplies, and more. Recently, ACI became a proud member of the Dwyer Omega family. Our products, they're used in buildings and applications all over the globe. So today's topic, where we are focusing more on the growth of opportunities in spaces like data centers, industrial plants, schools, or non-commercial building spaces, I think it really lends itself well to a lot of our products and capabilities, and it's also very timely for where we're at in our industry right now. I'm going to focus on just a couple of our products today, one of them being one of the most popular products that we sell. It's our line of copper averaging sensors and transmitters, and the other being the ECM-CS25A, which is one of our newer, more unique devices that we're making to monitor ECM motors. Could you please switch to the next slide? Thank you. So I'm going to start out talking about the copper averaging sensors and transmitters. And again, this is one of our most popular sellers. We build these using RTDs, thermistors, or as a custom spanned analog transmitter. And there's a couple of things that I think make this line stand out for us when people are considering it for their needs. One of those things being the fact that we can build these in long lengths. If we are building them with a thermistor, we have standard lengths available up to 50 feet. And if, as an RTD or a transmitter, we have standard lengths available up to 100 feet. And if it's an RTD or a transmitter, that's going to be a continuous averaging element. So it's going to be a more reliable way to monitor temperature over large areas than, say, a single point duct sensor or an averaging solution that's using multiple sensing points. And given some of the huge equipment and ductwork that's in use today in spaces like data centers, industrial plants, et cetera, the ability to get a single averaging sensor in a longer length can be a real benefit to people. These products can help save on the valuable real estate of inputs and outputs at the controller. We all know how much additional controllers and additional I/O cards can cost. And it's providing a full solution for temperature monitoring in areas with the potential for stratification of air, with fewer parts needed to purchase and fewer parts needed to install once in the field. So hopefully saving some time and money as well. Secondly, we have the ability to offer NIST certificates for these products and all of our temperature solutions, if that's something that a customer is requesting or something that is listed on a specification. We can do 3-point certificates, and if you are using a transmitter, there's an optional 5-point certificate as well. So accurate temperature monitoring can be very critical when we're talking about a data center or a hospital or a laboratory. It's used to do things like preserve equipment, keep those server rooms cool so the servers don't overheat. And in hospitals and labs, can be helping to do things like prevent the spread of infection, preserve vaccines and other medicines. And ACI has the ability, again, to not only offer this capability on our temperature line, but we can also do it on all of our RH transmitters and some of our pressure transducers as well. Next slide, please. So let's switch gears a little bit, and instead of talking about things in our industry that get larger, let's talk about what gets smaller in the interest of energy efficiency. So ECM motors, or electronically commutated motor use, is definitely on the rise. And ACI's ECM-CS25A offers a reliable way to monitor the current draw on these motors. Historically, this has been a challenging application because the motor will draw a small amount of current even when it's in standby mode or technically off. And the ECM-CS25A features the lowest adjustable trip point in the industry right now. It can be adjusted all the way down to 0.075 amps or 75 milliamps. And you can adjust between there and a half of an amp, allowing you to set that trip point just above the standby mode on your motor without having to do multiple wire wraps or a complicated installation process. When our engineers work on new product designs or revamping and improving existing designs, one of the things that's always top of their priority list is bringing a design to the marketplace that offers ease of installation in the field. Excuse me. Finally, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to our absolute newest product. It is the MSCT, or our mini current transmitter line. It was featured in all the advertising that we did for the show. Hopefully you saw it. These are mini current CTs that are built on the same footprint as the ECM switch, but are going to allow for an analog signal out, either a 4 to 20 milliamp or a 0 to 5 volts DC. They feature excellent accuracies and are very price competitive. We do have samples of the ECM switch and the mini CT line at our table, along with a lot of our other solutions. Barry and I will be there, and we hope you'll stop by to ask any questions you might have or talk about any projects you're working on. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Maya. So Maya, you don't have a cloud?
I do not.
What? You're the only one. You feel lonely or what? You want to be different. Yeah. That's understandable. Thank you, Maya. Steve, come on up from Prolon. Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
I'm going to try this clicker and see if I can make this thing work. Okay, not happening. All right, try. Whoa, no. Did you do that or I do that?
She did that.
Okay, she's doing that. A little bit about myself before I jump into this. My name's Steve Nichols. I work for Prolon Controls. We're out of Montreal, Canada. And I just had a show of hands. How many of you guys have heard of Prolon before? Oh, well, that feels good. So previous to coming to Prolon, I worked at Honeywell for 28 years and had a good run there. I spent about 4.5 years at Johnson and had a good experience and learned a lot. Worked with a lot of good people there. And I bounced over to Prolon back in November, and our niche, where we fit in the market, is light commercial. We don't go after the tritium work. We're not trying to chase that, right? That's not where we belong. Not trying to put you on the spot, but we're not going after the tritium work. We're going for that building that's anywhere between 5,000 feet to 100,000 square foot building. That's our fit. We have pre-configured controllers. So we have several apps that have been pre-built for it. We have a boiler app, a chiller app, we have a cooling tower app, makeup air app, we have a constant volume rooftop app. We have one for changeover bypass and VAV. So we have several apps that are pre-made for our controllers. So as a technician, you just need to show up, plug in your device, log into it from your phone, tablet, or computer, and configure it. So when you estimate your job, you're not estimating all this time in there to do programming. And as you're configuring your controller, the graphics automatically make themselves automatically. So as you add a bypass damper or a sensor, it will just show up on the graphic for you. So you're not spending any time estimating time in your job for programming or for graphics. So we're coming at a lower cost point, and we're trying to focus on that smaller customer. We're not looking at the hospital like the tritium world does, right? We're looking at the urgent care. We're looking at the car dealership, the restaurant, right? We're looking for the dock in the box. We're looking for the medium-sized strip malls, things like that. That's where Prolon really does well. And so do you mind moving forward? Now, can anyone tell me what all three of these things have in common? Raise a hand, anyone?
They're gone, obsolete.
They're gone, thank you. Next slide, please. And there we go. And so as an industry, I feel that we have an opportunity and even a responsibility to adapt. Otherwise, we end up being one of those really great companies that everyone used to know. And so as a company like Prolon, one of the things that we're doing is we're considering AI in our next generation controllers. In fact, we've already got an analytics piece coming out later this year, because in the light commercial space, we haven't seen a lot of that going on. I know that when I was over at Johnson, we started putting that in the Reversus product. We started putting AI at the edge. That was the whole idea, is to make the controller smarter. And I love that direction, because we should. We should do everything possible that we can as an industry to make their equipment, our customers' equipment, as smart as possible, because we need to save them energy, which saves them money. And so those are two responsibilities I feel like we have. And so at Prolon, that's one of our hot things we're working on, is making that end user piece, that controller on that piece of equipment, smarter. And so, do you mind forwarding for me? Thank you. And just maybe forward 5 more just to load up the screen here. And this is the market that we're looking at. 94% of the market here in the US is the light commercial market. Now, the other 6%, that's the tritium world, and tritium can play in this 94% as well. But that 6% is a very competitive world to be in. This 94%, this light commercial field, there's a couple good products out there. Verisys is one of those. LCBS, you got the TC500, some of those, and you hear Pelican, there's a couple others that come into the market as well. But that's the market we're really going for, is that mid-market. The nice thing is, if you look at this, let's see, do you mind forwarding one more? There we go, and let's see. 44% of electricity in the US is inside this market, in the light commercial market. So if we can make those rooftops and those pieces of equipment a little more intelligent, save a little more energy, we can have a huge dent. And so that's our task at Prolon, is to make our buildings smarter. So you can fast forward for me, please. And in sake of time, you did so well, by the way, at just jumping through. So if you just fast forward through all this, I'll jump towards the end here and just get to the point. And so this is a good way, maybe two more. This is a great way for a contractor who's currently doing thermostats, but wants to become a tritium person. It's very hard to make that jump. Prolon is a good gateway drug into the tritium world. If you want to be a programmer, if you want to be in the controls world, Prolon's a great step to get there. Prolon's a perfect step for that middle market, and if you can rock that market, then make your move. Go over to Richmond, Virginia, and sit in that class and learn tritium. So this is a good gateway drug into the controls world. Next, please. And then one more. And so at Prolon, on our roadmap, we have a new device coming out called the BACnet Broker. Now, I have to be very careful, and I'm going to say this right up front. I came over to Prolon in November. This product was already being worked on, okay? This is already being baked, and this will be out later this year, because we have that already in the Verisys Smart Building Hub. We had a BACnet Broker already in that. So we have a similar product coming out of Prolon that was already in the works. What this allows us to do, and now, I know that my shirt here says Prolon, and that's kind of, that doesn't make much sense because we don't do any lawn at all. We do Modbus. That's our family. We also have a little bit of BACnet that we do as well. But with this BACnet Broker, we'll be able to take anybody's BACnet device, BACnet MSTP, and then import it into our system. And at that point, we can trend it. We can schedule it. We can turn things on and off. We can actually share data from a third-party rooftop across our network with another third-party rooftop. So that's the BACnet Broker coming out later this year. So next, please. Now, we had a lot of feedback from customers that we needed to have more I/O on our VAV and changeover bypass controllers. You might notice that the actuator looks a lot like Belimo. It's because it is a Belimo actuator. We love Belimo. We've partnered with them, and we just slap our controllers on top of their actuators, and it's a good marriage. And that orange is Belimo orange. We love Belimo so much that we have orange on our controllers. So those controllers will be out later this year. Next, please. The other piece, this is what I'm excited about. Yes, we do have a cloud. And the nice thing about the cloud at Prolon is there's no fee for the product. There's no licensing with Prolon. There's no yearly fees. There's no extra fees you're going to saddle an end user with, because in the light commercial space, if you put this in a daycare center, telling them that to pay a yearly fee can be kind of a bit much, right? If you're at a hospital and put in tritium, they get it. They do SMAs all day long. It's not a big deal to them. But for a smaller building, that may be a little too much. So with our cloud, there's no fee for our cloud. That's just part of the product line. Move on, please. And then we'll go on to the next slide. Now, one of the product gaps that we had when I came over to Prolon is I wanted a nice-looking thermostat, a nice-looking wall module. And that was one of the first things I said when I talked to Mark Bergeron that owns Prolon. I says, we're kind of missing a piece there, right? He says, well, actually, we already got it coming out. So we have our new thermostat coming out later this year. If you just fast forward through it, it talks a bit about it. And this thermostat will be able to handle a VFD and economization all in the wall module, or in the one controller itself. So it's going to be perfect for that the ARC type rooftop, advanced rooftop control. So, and those are some of the new items that we have coming out at Prolon this year. And we have many more things coming out, but I see a focus on AI. You already heard it in there, but it's happening. It's already here. It's in our pockets. We all carry it around. We're all doing AI already. I don't think we need to be scared of it. I really don't. A lot of people are saying, well, we're going to lose jobs to it. We probably will in some sectors. But we still need people to come off the street, walk into a Cochrane Supply, buy a part off the shelf, and still put it in. AI can't do that. So we are still a valid industry where we need to be out there on site. But what we need to do is to make, when we're on site, to make that equipment smarter. Because instead of having to drive out to a job site to turn off an economizer because there's too much smoke in the air from all the fires that we were having out where I live, you can actually just go online and do it, right? You don't have to travel 3 hours to do that. And so we want smarter buildings, and that's what we're going for. And this, our new thermostat is going to get us there. So I appreciate your time today. If you have any questions, I'm in the exhibition hall. So thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, panel, thank you guys so much. That was great. Any questions? We got a minute or two. Any? Yeah, Rick?
Curious, Matt and Steve both have free clouds.
Yeah,
Why is that?
that's a good question. Why are your clouds free?
Oh,
Yeah.
Prolon's cloud is free.
Yeah, why?
So in the beginning, Mark Bergeron, he was a distributor,
Yep.
Pro Control in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't have a product like commercial. And so when he made it for the end user and the contractor. He wanted it to be simple. He wanted to make sure all the products at Prolon are backwards and forwards compatible. And he didn't want to sock people with fees every month. That was one of his things, and that's why the cloud is free. Now, with our cloud, if you want years worth of storage, there is a fee for that, just to pay for the storage. But to have it, you automatically get the cloud, automatically get several weeks worth of data for free. But the storage is what you would have to pay for. But the product itself is free. So,
Matt, anything to share about why Schneider's made your cloud free?
Yeah, so in our product, we partner with a company called Indices, right?
Okay.
And so it's their cloud. We don't have any sort of data storage over time, right? So you can't save trend results. And basically you're connecting up 4, 8, 12 different devices. So it's for a smaller facility, doing the fees for that, maintaining licenses, billing people like that. They said, we're going to cut it at 10 years, and at 10 years, probably something different is going to come along at that point. You know what I mean? So they thought, it's a good product. You don't have to pay for yearly fees for the cloud or monthly fees or anything like that, and you have access to it. And you're looking at rooftops, you're looking at fan coils, you're looking at heat pumps, you're looking at small systems.
Yeah, is there a fee if you want to say do data storage or extended services?
Right now, there's no extended services available.
Okay, not
as a plan,
available.
right? Yeah.
Gotcha.
So basically, you can put scheduling in there to be able to, OC on OC. You can be alerted of alarms through emails, through texts, right? And then you can view and change any of your.
So like a real-time monitor is really what it's doing.
A real-time monitor. Yeah. And
Okay.
it's really made for places where I'm not going to put in a Jace, right? Or I don't have the roll a truck to get out to something to respond to a situation. Right?
Sure.
So it keeps it on the low cost. People can function with it. You don't need a whole bunch of training or programming to get it done. It's a very simple solution.
Yep. Good question. Thank you. Any other questions from the audience? Yeah.
Just for Prolon, are you guys looking into doing IP under BAV controllers in the roadmap, or just MSTP for now?
We're looking at IP in our network controller. It's not a Jace, it's like a Jace, but it's not a Jace. But the idea is to put the backend IP in there at that level, not necessarily on the controllers themselves. Yet, it's something we'll take into consideration. The thing I love about Prolon is when customers have come to us in the past, I've only been there since November, but one of my customers, when I was in another company, he told me how much he loved Prolon because he said, I had a thing I came up with, I called them, a week later they had to fix for me, it was done. It wasn't anything wrong, it was just a feature he wanted. It took a week to get a feature upgrade done for him. And so when we have ideas that come from the field, it's not something that takes us years to do. We're a small company, so we can move pretty quickly.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Any other questions from the audience? No? Okay. Well, thank you, panel. Well done.